I got to thinking about this time of year, and I remembered that when I was growing up, my dad's work for years had like a Christmas party. And what it was, they had a bunch of toys out, and each of your kids could pick out one toy, and this was before Christmas. So, of course, we absolutely loved it as kids because until Christmas Eve, we didn't have anything to open. We couldn't open anything. Like anything our parents got us, it was do not open until Christmas Day. And Christmas Eve, we always went to my grandmother's house, so getting a toy early was awesome. And I think they had food and stuff, and you got to see Santa. So all in all, pretty cool. But I do remember that like the selection of toys was good, but they didn't have like the best stuff because it was donated. But I mean, who really cares? Because I remember one year I got a Borg action figure, and then another I got something else. There was always good stuff, so that was cool. I just think more about like Christmas and what I asked for Christmas because my mom, I've mentioned before, was not beyond some social engineering or subterfuge. Because I think one year I was like, I think I was 8, so I was in the 3rd grade. I wanted a Nintendo 64. Because a lot of people in class had one, and I was like, yeah, I want one of those. And I told my mom that's what I wanted, and she's like, no, 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 that's not what you want. You want some more Game Gear games, which I'd gotten a Game Gear the year before. And for what that system was worth, it was awesome, even if it was a battery eater. Most of my allowance went to the batteries that went into it, and it took, I don't even know, 8 batteries that only lasted like 4 hours. So that was kind of a crapshoot, but I liked that system. But the Christmas before, when I got it, they quit making games for it a month later. But there were still games out there, so I didn't have any trouble finding games. But anyway, I wanted that Nintendo 64, and my mom was like, nope, nope, that's not what you want. You want some Game Gear games and some surprises. And she kept telling me that. What she really meant was she'd already bought my Christmas stuff. And that's what I was going to get. I will say, though, the Christmas before that was without a doubt probably my favorite Christmas I've ever had because I got the Game Gear, which was awesome, and then I got a Steve Young jersey, which I don't know what happened to that. I know it would no longer fit me, but I'd really like to see if I still have it because I don't know if we donated it or something. But I'm always wondering because back then, and this is one thing me and my sister didn't really like about Christmas, we'd get our stuff, open our presents, and it was great. And we were just wanting to play with our stuff all day long. No. We had to go on Christmas Day to my grandmother's house. So we had to put down our cool stuff we got. We could take one thing, I think, and go to my grandmother's house and get her practical gifts. I think one year we got luggage. Another year we got something else. And stocking stuffers that were kind of goofy. One year she had some bananas and put them in the stocking that morning. And there's a great picture of my cousin getting a banana and just looking at it like, what the hell? But as kids, we were just like, because we didn't have a choice. There was no, hey, can we stay home? No. We're going to your grandmother's house. And then a couple years later, she moved up the date because she figured out, oh, wait a minute. I guess I can't have an embargo on Christmas for me and me alone. So we ended up going to her house earlier at Christmas time. And that was better because it was cool getting a gift. But by the time they started doing that, I was into video games, so it was more of a not getting any cool stuff, getting luggage and matching shirts and stuff like that. And then years later, my cousin, who's 10 years younger than me, would always go to her house on Christmas. And then one year he pitched a fit, and they're like, well, we had to stop going. I was like, God, I wish if I'd pitched a fit, that wouldn't have worked. All that had gotten me was extra hell, or maybe even Christmas gifts taken away. But when he didn't want to do it, he got out of it. In my other grandmother's house, it was always Christmas Eve. She'd cook a good meal, and it drove us crazy because we couldn't open until they decided we could open, and that meant eat. Everything needed to be cleaned up. Dishes needed to be washed, and I swear they took 20 minutes with every dish, just making us wait and wait and wait on purpose because grown-ups just find that stuff funny. I didn't as a kid. As we got older, we'd go in the basement and watch TV or help clean up. But that was always fun because my grandmother didn't have much money, but she usually got us good gifts. And that same Christmas I got the Game Gear, I remember, and I tell this to everybody, I think my great-grandfather died that year, and my grandmother gave me and my sister $100. I was 7 years old. That is still, like, even now, I've won money at casinos and on lottery tickets. But to me, $100 to me at age 7 was the most money I'd ever seen in my life and ever will see. And of course, I spent it accordingly because I don't remember what I spent it on. Probably games and other stuff. But I mean, I'd never seen so much money. Because I think my dad and my mom were wanting to pull we need to put that in your college fund. But they changed their mind because that would have pissed a kid off. Which $100 might be too much money for a kid, but in one way, I think my parents kind of wanted to see what we were going to do with it. Anyway, I don't think what else. There's not many other Christmas stories. It's just what we used to do. And now we really don't do anything because all my grandmothers have died. My mom's gone too, so Christmas really isn't the same. Now my daughter, it's fun because I get to see her open stuff, and it's a blast because when we open stuff on Christmas Day, my uncle and my grandmother and my grandpa would come and see what we got, so that was always nice. And I'll end this with, this story is not mine. This is a story a guy told me, and I always found it pretty funny. One Christmas, he had an older sister and an older brother too. And he said, Christmas morning, he said, my sister bent over to pick up a gift, and the back of her shirt came up, and my parents saw her tattoo, which was a tramp stamp. And he said, thus began the worst Christmas ever. Because his parents were clearly old school baby boomers. And he said, they had a coma party. He said, I went upstairs and hid. He said, that Christmas was awful, but I got my four-wheeler, so I was happy.